Gilberto Mendoza, the president of the WBA, that's the World Boxing Association, has come out and said that David Haye is firmly in the mix for getting a shot at the WBA heavyweight world title in 2017. And this comes off the back of David Haye beating up two very, very poor quality contenders in his past couple of fights in Mark Demori and Arnold Jurjai. It's pretty incredible that he is getting ranked as highly as he is by certain sanctioning bodies like the WBA and the WBC, but let me not go on a tangent about that again. I'm sure you all know how I feel about that. Let's quote Mr. Mendoza directly here. He's talking about the whole WBA heavyweight title situation, and remember, there are two WBA heavyweight titles, as absurd as that is. There is the regular title and there is the super title. Tyson Fury currently holds the WBA super title. He is the WBA super champion. Whereas the WBA regular title is currently vacant and it is about to be contested in the near future between Lucas Brown and Freza Kendo. Now let me quote Mr. Mendoza directly. He says, he's talking about Brown first of all here, Lucas Brown. He said, Brown's title shot came out of a legal settlement we had to do after we got sued by Brown's people for stripping him. I think the WBA grounds were very strong. He took us to court and we settled for giving him a title opportunity. If by that time David is a leading available contender, that fight could happen. But then we have on the other hand, Freza Kendo, who has a court order saying that he must have a chance to fight for the championship. We would love to have David Haye back as our champion. That's what I can tell you. But boxing is complicated. It's not that easy. He goes on to say, he's talking about the Brown-Kendo situation. He says, that's what we ordered. We have been listening to the promoters. That's a very tough fight to sell. That's a very tough fight to make because of the amounts of money, but they are negotiating right now. We'll see what the outcome is. He also says, in a theoretical way, David Haye would receive a title opportunity. I don't know if in 2016, but perhaps at the beginning of next year. He is high in the rankings, but obviously he will have to be active and fight other boxers. Now, I did a video not too long ago talking about the possibility of David Haye fighting Lucas Brown for the WBA heavyweight title. And I got that information from Shannon Briggs. I didn't speak to Mr. Briggs directly. He's got a YouTube channel and he uploaded a video in which he was saying that this is what he'd heard, that David Haye was abandoning fighting him, Shannon Briggs, and was actually going to be fighting Lucas Brown for the WBA regular strap. So, judging by what Mr. Mendoza said here, Shannon Briggs obviously had some pretty good information, didn't he? Because this is what Mr. Mendoza seems to be insinuating or suggesting, that he would like to set up a fight between Lucas Brown and David Haye rather than Freza Kendo and Lucas Brown, because he thinks that's a very difficult fight to sell. Both guys would want to be paid well for that fight, but neither man has a fan base. At least when Brown and Kendo challenged Ruslan Chagayev, Chagayev had a fan base over there in Chechnya. They were selling out the arena. It was a big song and dance affair. But you take Chagayev out of the equation and you match Brown and Kendo together, not much of a fan base. For whatever reason, Lucas Brown is not that popular in his native, well, let me not be unfair. For whatever reason, boxing at this moment is not that popular in Lucas Brown's native country of Australia. He actually gets, or up until fairly recently anyway, he was actually getting far more fan interest from the UK than he was getting from his native Australia. It may have changed a little bit because apparently Lucas Brown said some British fans turned on him following his positive drug tests, whereas in Australia they were rallying behind him, and most people in Australia believe that Lucas Brown was spiked and set up, as I do. I don't have definitive evidence, but that's my personal view based on the circumstantial evidence as an outsider looking in. Anyway, David Haye against Lucas Brown. yeah, it seems like the WBA want that. David Haye is a cash cow. That fight sells. Everybody gets paid. Would most likely be in the UK. Does David Haye deserve it? Hell no. The only redeeming quality of that particular fight, from the perspective of David Haye getting the shot, is that it's only the WBA regular belt. However, the WBA regular champion gets the opportunity to fight for the super title against the winner of Tyson Fury, Vladimir Klitschko. So David Haye would effectively be leapfrogging everybody else in the WBA rankings. Let's say he fought Brown and beat Brown. He would then leapfrog the likes of Luis Ortiz, you know, who many people feel is far more deserving of a shot at the WBA heavyweight title than David Haye is. In fact, I did a video about Luis Ortiz recently and his situation with Golden Boy. He's now split from Golden Boy. We don't know if he's going to align himself with Al Heyman. It may be prudent for him to do so, because even his manager and I think his trainer were talking about the fact that this WBA route might be a very, very long route for Luis Ortiz indeed, particularly when you've got the WBA president himself talking about how he'd like David Haye as his champion again and how he'd like to make David Haye Lucas Brown for the regular title. Where does Luis Ortiz fit into all of this? You know? It's one of them type of situations. You would imagine that the way it's looking, David Haye would end up getting a shot if he beat Lucas Brown. He'd end up getting a shot at the Klitschko Fury winner before Luis Ortiz would. And Haye would likely not have to face Ortiz. Maybe I'm getting way too carried away here. This is just pure speculation, but this is how it looks to me at the moment. I could be wrong. All right, we'll see how it all plays out. But at the same time, you have to imagine that Luis Ortiz's people have to speculate and try and read the situation as well, because they don't know for sure what's going to happen with the WBA and their tournament. So, yeah, let me know how you feel in the comment section below, people. David Haye possibly getting a shot at the WBA title in 2017. I know there's a lot of legal situations at the moment. Freza Kendo is battling to get his shot. Lucas Brown has apparently already secured his shot at a vacant belt because it was an out-of-court settlement. We'll see what happens, people. Would you like to see David Haye, Lucas Brown? Are you one of those people, those big-time David Haye fans who would support that fight, who thinks it's justified, who don't care about Haye having to earn his stripes and work his way up the rankings? Maybe you don't care. Maybe you just think because he's exciting, put him in there, give him the opportunity over fighters who are maybe less exciting. Although it's hard to argue that Luis Ortiz is less exciting than David Haye. Luis Ortiz has been delivering terrific excitement and knockouts. So anyway, people, let me know how you feel. It's your boy Hatman. I'm out. And oh, before I go, I would like to plug my prediction league. For those of you who are on Facebook, I'll leave a link in the description and also in the comment section below to my prediction league. Now, I do not run the prediction league myself. It is run by a very pleasant gentleman indeed named Leon Stonnard. I hope you don't mind me mentioning his name. But yeah, go click the link for my Facebook prediction league. It's free to enter, obviously. It's just a Facebook thing, but there are prizes. There's £60 worth of prizes given away to the winner of the prediction league. And the prediction league runs in seasons. I think the seasons are like every month it's a season or something like that. You talk to Leon Stonnard anyway on Facebook if you want to enter it. Just, you know, tag him in the post, which I leave a link to, and ask him about how to enter. I mean, it's pretty easy how to enter. You just tell him you want to enter, and he puts you in the league, and you give your picks every week before the weekend, and see how good you are at predicting fights. Yeah. So if you're interested in that, make sure you click the link. Check out the Hatman Boxing Prediction League on Facebook, and win yourself some prizes if you're good at predicting boxing matches. All right. It's your boy Hatman. I'm out.